Good afternoon, evening from wherever you are joining us today, and thank you all for joining today's session. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. The session will run over the next 1 hour, including Q&A. The session is being recorded and will be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel. I will share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat section soon. Before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. Also, please keep your mics muted during the session. I would now like to welcome Gaurav, our speaker for today's session. Gaurav is a subject matter expert in the evolving landscape of cloud data and AI. He is working as a senior program manager with Power BI team at Microsoft with more than 16 years. He has delivered multiple sessions to enable Microsoft partners and customers on data and AI, both in India and overseas. But for now, I will hand over to Gaurav to begin the session. Over to you, Gaurav.
Hey, thank you, Rashmita, and good evening, everyone. So I think we are good to get started. If you want to grab some coffee or tea, please go ahead. So we're going to have around 60 minutes of time to get our session ready. I would also request everyone, to keep yourself muted in case if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to use the chat window. So I will be monitoring and taking up the question in between as we have the time, right? So okay, so let's get started and begin the session. I think we do have a lot of content to cover. So let me first quickly share my screen. All right, so I hope you guys can see the slide, the first slide, which is the Power BI, the art of possible hash BI Guruji. Yes.
Yes, Gaurav, go
All
ahead.
right. Okay. Okay. So before we get started, I just also want to let you know. So this going to be a session where we're going to talk what exactly the Power BI as a tool, right? How the Power BI roadmap is, and this going to be a series of sessions going forward, right? So this session we have planned is just an icebreaker so that you guys can have a fair understanding how to leverage this tool and what is this tool is all about, right? So in case if you are a beginner or if you're already using this tool or if you are an expert into any other BI tool, I mean, this session will going to help you to just to have a fair understanding how you're going to use Power BI and how you're going to get started creating your first Power BI report, right? And later on, once we go further into our series, right, we're going to do a much more deep dive into individual pillars of Power BI, right? So let's get started, just to first understand how the this BI platform has been grown till now, right? So if you see the adoption in terms of the Power BI right now, it has been adopted more than 300K organization. We have more than 10 million user in 187 countries, and this is the sixth year of triple digit growth usage which we have seen in the BI platform, right? Not only that, we also see the magic quadrant of Gartner in last year as the analytical leader, if you see on the top. So Microsoft is one of the leader along with the other competitor, which you can see it, right? So that's another good news that you will be, working on one of the top-notch tool in the market, right? Now, we continuously do rapid innovation in our tool, right? So if you see from the starting, these are the number of features we have shipped till now, right? I don't want you guys to go each and everything. We just want to show you how we are actually evolving and how we are actually shipping the continuous growth and continuous evolving this tool with so many numbers of features which we have shipped till now, right? So that is the one of the great and the rapid innovation which you have seen in the tool, and this tool is continuously evolving, and we are continuously taking the feedback from you guys in order to evolve and get this tool more and more productive, right? Now let's understand the roadmap and how we're going to actually drive the data culture, right? Now, as we say, driving the data culture, right? So most of the times there might be a confusion which comes in, is that whether it is necessary to have you to have a data background, or is it only meant for IT professional or software engineer or data analyst, or it can be used for everyone, right? So now we have made this tool in such a simple way that it can be adopted or it can be used by anyone. I mean, with a very basic background of data, or even if you are a very familiar with Excel, I mean, it will be very easy for someone to adopt or start working on Power BI, right? So so as an individual, if you really want to get an insight out of your data on one click away, I mean, it's very simple to do that. Um, or if you need to have an insight which you need from your team and you want to go and display to your executives, that can be done. Or if you are an organization where you are seeing the data has been scattered everywhere, right? So you want to bring the data culture into one single place and want to evolve and create some of the great visualization, you can do that, right? Now, in terms of the security and trust, since this is meant for every team and every organization, we also empower everyone to use this tool with 100% security and trust, because one of the key factor which comes into the consideration when you are working with the data or the data visualization, or when you are presenting the data, the security, right? Because there are customers who might be working on very confidential data. There are customers who will be working on the financial data or the government data or the healthcare data. So we do empower and follow the the security and the trust. I'm going to talk a little bit more later on once we move further in our presentation. Right now, how we are empowering everyone, right? So what we say is the PowerPoint of data. Now, why we call it as PowerPoint of data? I hope you guys have used PowerPoint and have created some of the other, kind of presentation which you have uh, delivered or done it in your organization, right? Or if you are a college student, you might have done those presentations for your college project. So you must be very much familiar with the PowerPoint interface, right? So now we are coming up with the similar way, what we call it as the PowerPoint of data, where y- we have incorporated the similar interface what you have seen in the Microsoft PowerPoint, right? The way how you go and drag and drop the different component in the PowerPoint, how you actually do a slideshow, or you can do and bring different types of component which you go and insert, and you can resize them. You can go and can view them, or you can do the color theme and everything. So it's a similar types of adoption which has been done in the Power BI interface. So it makes quite easy for anyone who comes from the Microsoft background or who have already used some of the Microsoft familiar tools to easily go and adopt and start working on creating these reports, right? So here you can see that this is one of the things which we are just showing you, how you actually creating some of those visualizations, how you are dragging different things to the axis, and how the visualization is getting created, and you can do the theme change, color formatting change, and all those things. So the interface looks quite familiar if you have already done some of these things with in the PowerPoint, right? Now we also have a very strong argumented analytics. So Microsoft continuously do lot of innovation in the AI area. For example, object recognition is one of the key key area where Microsoft had invested a lot and has accomplished a lot of accuracy in identify different types of images, right? On the other side, the speech recognition, right? So for example, when you actually having the AI feature where converting the text to speech or speech to text or doing a translation of speech, so that has been almost we have done a lot of speech recognition algorithm which comes with lot of accuracy, right? Now reading comprehensive text is also one of the thing which can be done. So typically doing with the help of AI is another innovation which is being done. Now, how you actually bring these feature, right? How you going to actually bring these feature insight and visualization tool, right? Which is your Power BI platform. So that is where we bring most of the complete AI capability inside the Power BI as a product, right? So some of them um, are which are being capable or which are you can do it whether you are a data scientist or an analyst or an end user, right? These capability get extend with you. For example, the Azure ML is one of the thing which you can go and bring it. So you typically go and create the Azure ML models, right? So if you have worked or get an opportunity to work on Microsoft Azure ML, right? So what typically you do, you typically go and create those ML models into the Azure machine learning, and you can then go and consume those models, right? Now we have bring all those things inside the Power BI where you can do and can consume your analytical or the machine learning models. You can perform sentiment analytics, right? You can do the smart narrative, which is again a very, very wonderful feature where you can go and convert your data into a storytelling kind of a thing. There is an Python and the R integration which is there, so you can go and can create your Python or the R visuals and do the data exploration using that. We have a key phrase extractor, root cause analysis, and last but not the least, the very wonderful feature which is Q&A, right? So that is another AI capability where you ask the question to your data, right? In a in a layman language, and you get an answer in a form of the visualization, right? So that is the Q&A feature which Microsoft or Power BI offer, which none of the tool right now in market have that capability, right? Now, this is how typically the argument reality, which the which analytics is typically works, right? So you have your machine learning model, which could be something which is doing a data prediction, or it is something where it is doing any other image recognition and all, right? So you go and bring those and invoke that inside your Power BI data set, right? So that is how you're going to actually call those models, and you consume those models within the data set itself. So now when you actually go and present your data, right, it is um, it is where you are actually applying the machine learning model on top of your data so that you can go and predict on real time on that data, right? Now, in terms of the Python or the R integration, let's say you are a pure seasoned developer who don't who love to write R, or you would love to create R models, right? Or you would love to write Python models, right? So we do have a capability where you can go and bring your um, R integration here. You can go and write your R model within the data set and can create those visualization within the Power BI interface. So there is an R integration which we offer, as well as the Python integration which we go and offer, right? Now, the another piece is insight on the move, right? So, as the name says, insight on the move, we do have the capability where you go and download the Power BI app. If you are an Apple user, so you can go and take the app from the iOS, or if you're a Android user, you can go and get it from the Google Play. So we do have a very robust mobile app, which you can go and install it onto your mobile application, and then you can see the insight on the move, right? Now, this comes very handy when you are actually, you know, tracking the day-to-day sales, right? And you are a person who travel a lot, right? So you might not have always having your VPN connectivity, or you might not have to go and open your laptop every time, right? You want to see some insight, or you want to do some sales tracking, and you want to see it on the mobile, right? So we do have those mobile app which is completely compatible, and the best part is that you even go and configure the mobile alerts, right? So if you are monitoring some of the threshold for a specific sales and you want to go and track that on day-to-day basis, there are alert mechanism which you can go and can configure, and you get immediately an alert into your mobile, and you can immediately go and see and can talk to your sales executive, or your you can check how your sales is, whether it is meeting the target, if not, why it is not meeting, and what has to be done on that those lines, right? Now, in terms of the empowering every team, we do have a tight collaboration when you are actually working with different teams inside your organization, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about how you actually go and collaborate, right? Once you are dealing with a lot of data, and the data is coming from different types of, it's coming from different subunit in the organization, right? So there might be data which comes from your marketing. It's a marketing data. There's a data which is more like a promotional data. There is a sales data, right? Now you want to bring everything all together, and then you want to create an executive dashboards. So how you actually going to distribute these content, right? And how you actually go and collaborate between different peers in your organization, right? So Power BI do a very tight integration with the teams. So Microsoft Teams is one of the place where you actually go and start collaborating with your data. So you can go and can integrate Power BI reports inside your team, and you can start conversation from your data, right, to the different people in your organization, right? So one of the thing is, which is, let's say you are dealing with a sales pipeline right now. You want to go and share the sales pipeline to one of the team who's sitting somewhere in US, right? And you want to ask your team to just quickly look into the sales pipeline. So with the Teams integration, you just immediately go and bring that particular report. You can share it to a specific person or to a specific team as a DL, put some comment and just share it, right? So that will go as a team chat to that particular team or to that particular person, and he can go and immediately go and click and can check what is happening on that, right? So this is how you actually go and start collaboration, doing the collaboration and start the conversation of your data with your team, right? So this is another way, which is how it is being shown, how you actually go and start informing and can ask different teams member to check the data and get started with that. Okay, now there are ways you can even create data-driven meetings, right? Where in the meeting itself, while scheduling a meeting, you want to go and bring a reporting flavor inside that meeting schedule itself, that this meeting is about a backlog which has happened in September 2022, and we want to go and quickly discuss that. Now, in order to set more context to that meeting, you go and bring that data pointers as well. So where you actually go and embed that same report with same data feature, stating that can we quickly go and discuss this particular thing, which makes the discussion more productive, since you will be talking more specific with the data along with the other details. So that is how you can even do a data driven meetings using the strong integration with the Power BI along with the teams. The another cool feature what we have is the cascading scorecards, which is where you actually go and distribute different scorecard aligned to the different or entire organization, right? At a different hierarchy level, right? So there might be different hierarchy levels at the organization where you are talking about a northwest region or a southeast region. So accordingly, you go and create different goals where you can go and quickly go and monitor the different progress of the goals which you're going to define here, right? So there might be goals of the revenue, how you're going to improve. There might be goals of winning a specific growth on year, right? So you set different goals and you track those. You typically go and track the growth with the help of the the different statuses, right? Which says whether your status is at risk or you are meeting or behind or on track, right? So what is the deadline and how you are actually doing in terms of the deadlines, right? Now there are the options of creating notes so that you can go and share, and when you are working with the specific team, they can go and review those notes, and the owner get notified, and accordingly the other people will react and they will start taking the action on it. You can also see a overall picture, right? What are the goals? How many are on track? How many are at risk? And what are behind and what is not yet started, right? So that gives you the another option of giving the holistic picture how you are doing. So this is another feature which is being added last year, which we call it as goals, right? The Power Automate integration is another way is of when you actually want to create some action, right, based on some of the data changes, right? When you are actually collaborating and you want to also want to create some action on top of it, right? Let's say you're not meeting a specific target or you're not meeting the sales target which you are actually targeted for that specific period. So you have notified that we are not meeting the target through the notes, but what is the action you want to take it, right? Whether you want to go and fire an alert to different team or you want to go and trigger any other workflow. So that is where you actually go and incorporate Power Automate integration, right? So where you actually start creating some of the action or the workflow, right? So based on the specific reports, based on the specific goal, you want to go and specify a condition stating that if there is a specific thing, let's say if the changes are equal to completed, you want to go and congratulate to the team, and so this is going to send the status as congratulation team, you have achieved the quarterly sales goal, right? So that is one of the way automatically you want to go and bring this as one of the action whenever there is a goal which is met on or before the target. You want to go and channelize or you want to create an action which will send a welcome mail to all the team mates who have actually contributed in achieving that quarterly sales goal, right? So that is where you actually go and integrate with the Power Automate as a data driven collaboration from your change of the status, right? Now in terms of the productivity, right? So how actually you go and do the productivity. So uh, because how you actually integrate this Power BI when there are multiple reports. So Power BI reports are just like any other Office document, right? So you guys might have used O365, right? So when you actually go to your office.com, you will see all your office artifacts, right? Being it is an Excel file, being it is an your PowerPoint presentation or the Word document. In a similar way, you will also able to see your Power BI report inside your office as an artifact once you go and log in with your Active Directory credential, right? So you go and search that report as how you search any other office documents. Once you go and click to that report, it will automatically take you to the Power BI portal where you can go and access that report from the Power BI portal as it is. So this is another thing. Now the another way which we want to also highlight is SharePoint list, right? since most of you have created a list. It could be an Excel list or a SharePoint list. So when I say list, it's nothing. It's a simple table format, right? Where you have data sitting in a rows and a column. So and you want to go and quickly analyze that data. You want to visualize that data. So from directly from the SharePoint list, you have an option. You have an way on a button click. Once you go and do that, it will automatically create an Power BI visualization or a Power BI report for you connecting to your SharePoint list. And then you can go and present that. So here, if you see, this is a list. And if I go and click on visualize the list, it will automatically take me to an interface where I can go and bring all different attributes and can create these visualization as a form of and as an and can present this data. Right now, this is completely live in the sense any changes happening to this list in the it will automatically go and reflect to your Power BI report. So this is one of the way where you go and impress your boss, and you can go and create these visualization, and you can let them know this is what I have done with your data, right? So it was only there in a rows and column. Now you can see and visualize that in a form of a report, because it's always easy and make more sense when you actually go and show something in a form of visuals or in pictures, right? Rather presenting something in a form of a table where you have thousands of row and you want to just go and present that. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to anyone unless and until it is in a form of some aggregated data or in a form of the visualization. The another thing what we have is in terms of the Excel integration, right? Now this is very important. Why? Because uh, since most of you, and I would say in an organization, more than 70% people still uses Excel, right? Especially the managers, the people who do a lot of analysis or want to analyze a specific KPI or a specific thing. The first tool which comes into the mind is the Excel. Let's do everything in Excel. I mean, it could be a simple attendance management or the attendance tracking for an event. If you want to go and do that, you will always go and create an Excel workbook, right? Where you will have the different names of participant. They might be their company name, whether they have attended or not, all those details, right? You do it in Excel. Now, how you actually go and bring a flavor where you um can now convert those Excel data into a a jazzy or into a colorful visualization, right? So Power BI do integrate very well with Excel, where you can directly go and visualize your data, which is there in Excel, and put it into the Power BI so that you can create some interesting visualization from your Excel data, and then you can go and present it to your executive, right? And it could be the other way around as well. For example, you have created some complex model in Power BI, and this is already deployed on the Power BI interface. Now you want to go and consume that model in Excel, right? So that can also be done in a form of a pivot table field. You go and connect to that model and can visualize that data inside the Excel as well, right? So we offer those two types of tight integration between Power BI and Excel, or Excel and Power BI, whatever you call it. So either way, go and you can connect to the data and can visualize that. Okay, now storytelling with Power BI is another cool feature which is recently introduced in Power BI. Now, what is it is about? So now you created a report which is deployed somewhere in Power BI, which is typically the web portal, right? Now there is a presentation which is coming, and you've been asked to do a presentation in front of your business or the business stake your external stakeholders, or it could be the company senior executives. Now There is two ways. One is you go directly go to the Power BI portal and start showing those reports and data. The other way, I mean, typically most of the executives like is through the PowerPoint, right? So because you might be talking of multiple things which you want to go and bring it, and you typically doing a slideshow. Now, at the same time, you also want to bring a Power BI report inside a PowerPoint. So we do are giving you that integration where you can go and integrate and fully developed Power BI report inside your PowerPoint, right? And this is completely interactive, which you can see it on the screen. Inside the slide, you can go and even show how the different metrics are getting changed when you click on a specific thing, right? So there's another way of doing a storytelling when you are actually working with the executive and how you're going to bring this inside Power BI. So this is another one is typically the Outlook or the Office Hub. So um, here you can see when you are in the Outlook, right? So when you have an Outlook install, you can have a dedicated Power BI hub or a Power BI tab inside the Outlook itself. So you don't have to go anywhere, right? Once you go and click on the actual Outlook on the Power BI tab, you will be actually, you know, connecting to your workspace, the Power BI workspace, and can bring those reports within the mail body when you want to share that to specific people, right? Uh, okay, so let me go to the other thing now in terms of the action, right? So we talk about the productivity, we have spoken about the collaboration. Let's see in terms of the action, right? Now, when you want to go and act, when you want to go and perform some action based on the insight, or you want to take some action, how you actually go and do that, right? So you have analyzed the data. Now you want to act. So when you want to act, you need to do kind of an automation in the same you want to go and kick off some workflow, right? Based on when something has happened, now you want to take some action, right? Let's say you are monitoring a real time and and then as an you are monitoring a mission critical machinery on a real time basis. So let's say if the machinery breakdowns, right? So you get an alert or you get an notification inside your report stating that this machine, this location, this has breakdown. Now you got an alert. Now what do you actually do with an alert? So one is you call the machine owner or the operator to go and quickly fix that, which is again a manual or the conversion process. But if you want to do it everything as an automated way, you go and automate that. So as soon as you get a red alert for a specific machine, you want to kick off an action. Now, what that action will do, it will automatically go and trigger an alert or a phone call, or it could be a mail to the specific person stating that this machine part at this location has breakdown. Can you immediately go and look into that? Right. So that is one of the thing which you can do it, and you can do with the help of power apps, and you can go and automate those things and do that, right? So this is another interface which we call it as the part of your power platform. You go and create your power apps um, based on your Power BI reports, based on the specific KPI in the report, and you want to go and trigger something, right? Or you want to take some action, which could be a repair or it could be an alerting mechanism to someone which you want to do it. So that is something you can do it with the help of the Power Automate here. So I do have a demo, so don't worry. I mean, I do have a quick demo which I want to do that. We'll do last in the last 15 minutes, and we'll finish that demo so that you will have some clarity how actually we are going to do certain things, right? Now, in terms of the trust and compliance, so this is one of the key things which most of the organization ask how my data is secure, right? Or when I am actually, deploying or creating this data set, right, in the Power BI, which is basically a cloud-based service. what is the security strategy you follow so that my data is completely secure, right? So um, so Power BI do follow very tight, security interface, very tight security architecture in terms of the network security, or it could be in terms of the data encryption, data loss and prevention, or data residencies, right? There are different certifications which are local and international compliance standard, which are already being certified. Power BI is already being certified with those industry standards, right? We do have multi-geo capabilities. So if your data is, you want to go and store it to a different geography, or you have a compliance specific requirement that you want to go and store the data, and your data cannot move out of your country boundary, right? So there are capability because we offer the data storage into 54 data centers worldwide, right? Network security wise, yes, we do have different ways where we'll make sure that your data is completely secure, right? And there are certain industries where there is a compliance requirement. For example, banking industry, where they don't want to go and uh, want their data to travel with the public network, right? So they, it has to go through a private network or a private link. So we do offer a VNet data connectivity or a private link along with the service tags. And data encryption is another thing where your data is encrypted at rest. There are data loss prevention where we do specify different classification of the data with the Microsoft information protection, so that you can classify the data, whether the data is confidential, whether the data is public data, whether data is business critical, it is a data which is financial data. So you can create those different types of MIP labels for the better data security, right? The other thing what we do is, I mean, you can see that how the different data centers for the Microsoft are being scattered across the globe. So in India, we do have 3 data centers, which you can see it. There are 54 plus data centers worldwide, and different. We do have 44 different languages. We also cover national clouds. So typically for US government, China, and Germany. So if there are specific customers who want to go and are very specific in these certain regions and with certain national clouds, then they do have those options. Now, these are some of the certifications. I mean, I just want to, you can just quickly go through it. So data loss prevention is another key thing which I just quickly want to tap in. So for example, you want to go and classify the sensitivity level of your data, right? What type of data it is, right? So let's say this is an highly confidential data, which is only for internal use, right? So you go and classify that, so that whenever you are actually sharing this information, this classification or this MIP level always go and follows that, right? Because there are ways you can even export your data into an Excel, right? So what will happen when you actually exporting in an Excel, because this is marked as a confidential data. Now, since this is the sensitive level, it also go and follows and create that in Excel automatically because of the Microsoft information protection, right? Which you have defined it while creating the sensitivity level of your data, right? So there is an end-to-end protection which you get, right? So whether you are working with a data coming from, from a different places in Azure, right? So let's say your data travel from multiple places in Azure, your data coming from Azure Synapse, and then from Synapse it comes to a Power BI, and from Power BI you create your reports, and from reports you actually go and export the data into, let's say, into an Excel, or you go and create a storytelling in Power BI, PowerPoint. So if you have created this confidential label at your data at source, this will go and completely travel and can get incorporated at all the levels. So it's an end-to-end protection which you get for your data, um, the journey from your Azure till the office, whatever you are doing, right? So that is how the information protection actually works, right? So let me go back to so since we have only 20 minutes left, let me quickly do uh, a quick demonstration so that you guys can have some understanding how you actually go and create your first Power BI report, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of the public data set um, for creating one of the basic report. Now, why I have used this public data set so that you guys can go back and can also practice this um, once you get some time and can see if you are able to create some basic visualization um, uh, or a basic report. Right? So this is the data which is shared by WHO on the coronavirus. So there are data which is the data is about two things. One is the daily cases, right, reported by WHO to WHO. There is a latest report case cases and deaths. There is a vaccination data which talk about different vaccination which are being done and vaccination metadata. So for the demo purpose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the vaccination data, uh, you know, just to quickly analyze how the vaccination is done in different countries, right? And you can see this data also have some information like the field name and the description, right? So that once you are actually working with this data, you will also have the understanding of these different columns, what is these all about and what are their descriptions. So you can easily go and understand that what data it is. So basically it has these different columns, country, the alpha or the ISO 3 code, which is the country code, the WHO region, data source, date updated, total vaccination and all those things, right? So now how are you going to actually do that? So I hope you guys have uh, gone through uh, the basic requirement, which is the Power BI desktop is one of the thing which you have to go and download. So I've already downloaded this Power BI desktop. So this is a free software which can be downloaded and you can go and install it onto your laptop or your computer. It's a small interface, free interface which can be downloaded. This will help you to actually go and author the reports, or you can say for developing your reports, right? Now, how we actually go and do that? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just simply click on get data and I'm going to now let me one more thing and let me quickly show you, what are the different data source it typically supports, right? When you actually go and click on the get data here. What are the different data sources you can actually go and connect from Power BI, right? So under files, you will see all different types of file data sources, right? Um, Under databases, you can see the different databases um, which you can go and connect. It's not only the Microsoft databases, it's all different databases of different vendors which you can go and connect from here. And this is the Power Platform, the Azure services. So if you are pretty typically working on the Azure specific data sources, for example, Azure SQL, Azure Synapse Analytic, Cosmos DB, SD Insight, or Azure Databricks, all those different things which you can find it here. These are the online services which you can go and connect. So for example, SharePoint online list, we have your Dynamics 365 Office Exchange Online, There are a lot of them, right? So what for the demo, I'm going to use the web since I want to make it easy or the simple for you guys so that you should not have a dependency on a specific database or a specific service. It's an open data source. So what we're going to use is web, and I'm going to click on Connect Simple. Now it's going to open another window for me. Now what we're going to quickly do, I'm going to quickly go and bring this vaccination data, right? So what I'm going to do, I just simply copy this link, right? And just paste it here as an URL. Okay, and I just click OK. Now, since this is an open data set, I don't need any authentication because it's a public data set. So I just quickly go and anonymous and just connect to this. Right. So you can see the data has been pulled from the data source, which is in a form of a CSV, which you can see it on the website here, right? This is a CSV data, right? So I've directly connected to that data. And I can quickly go on transform this, click on transform. So basically, once you click on transform, it is where you actually go and you know, try to modify your data before you actually go and load inside your Power BI data set. Okay. Now it's like where I can go and do different data transformations. For example, this is a column which is there. I don't need, let's say, this column. So I can just simply say remove. So what it does, it go and delete that column. Okay. Because I might not need everything, right, inside my data set. You can go and scroll and can see if there is anything which you really don't need. You can go and simply delete those things, right? You can even rename a specific column once you click right click and you as an option you can say rename, so you can just go and rename a specific column. There are more different transformation which you can do. You can go and convert to a specific column to a whole number. Let's say this column is not a whole number. So you go and transform and then you can go and convert this to a whole number, right? Or to a decimal value or whatever, right? So sometimes when you actually bring a number column, it comes as a string or a text column. So there might be a requirement where you have to go and convert it into a whole number. So that what you can do. Now this is the vaccination data. So I'm not going to do much of the transformation because that is going to be covered in the upcoming sessions and all. This is more to just let you know how you actually go and started. So what I'm going to do, I'm just do quickly close and apply. So what it does now, it actually go and start downloading or bringing that data uh, from that website and load it inside my Power BI. So it is not connecting and it is just bringing this data and bring it everything here. Come on. So should be coming in a while. So meanwhile, this is getting ready. Let's also bring another data. So this is the vaccination data, right? Typically talk about how many boosted dose has been done, who are the people who are actually completely vaccinated, who are the one who have done 1+ dose, all those things, right? Now, I also need a vaccination metadata which talks about, give me more detail about the vaccination name, the product name, the company name, all those things, right? So I'm going to also bring this data set as well, right? So let's see. So this data is loaded. You can see it here. This data has come. Now let me grab the other data also. So again, I will go to the web and I'm going to apply the same steps, whatever we have done. So I'm going to paste this URL and say OK, and it has connected. I'm going to do a transform again. right? And what I will do, I may not going to, I may not need everything, right? So this is another one I don't need. I'll remove this column. I'm going to remove comment. I don't need authorization date. Let it be like that. And that's it. So now you can see there's a metadata which talks about more detail about different vaccine, the product, which company it is, right? So this is the metadata. So I'm going to quickly load this as well. So meanwhile, I'm just going through the questions. So I think there was a question where the recommendation for the Mac user for the Power BI dashboards and reports. So for the Mac users, I don't see any challenge while accessing the reports through the browser. So you can pretty much access those reports from Safari browser or any other browser what you were using. However, the Power BI desktop right now is not supported for Mac. So um, the desktop tool is, you if you have to use a Power BI desktop tool, you might need an Azure VM or any other window machine, or I think there are parallels or some other software which you can go and install on your MacBook and can install the Power BI desktop and can use that, right? Okay, so now we have loaded both the data set. Now, if you come to this model tab, which is relationships tab, you can see these two tables are now got connected. Now, why this got connected? Because there is a relationship between these two tables with an ISO. ISO is something which is common and it has automatically detected that. I mean, Power BI is that much smart that it has automatically taken that and it has created a many to one relationship, right? Between these two tables with an ISO 3 column. Okay, which is good. Now, so we got the data right now. What we quickly do now, let's go and quickly create some reports or some visualization and to understand, right? So now how you get started, right? So here you can see the visualization pane where different visuals are mentioned, right? So there are two ways which you can do it. So one is you can directly bring a visual like this. Once you go and click on a visual, it will come here and then you actually bring the fields in the visual, right? So I bring, let's say, a card visual. Now I want to see person who, how many have fully vaccinated. Okay, so once I bring that, um, a person's fully vaccinated, it's going to create a card for me, right? Stating how many are already or completely vaccinated, right? Um, so wow, so you can see total 5 billion, which is a great number are fully vaccinated. Now you can have an option where you can go and can do all your different editing of these visuals, right? So you can have font which you can go and change. You can change your display unit, category level, everything, right? In the interest of time, I'm not going to do that because we are running out of time. We have only 5 more minutes to go. So I'm going to leave that formatting tips, which will keep it for our upcoming session. So once we go further, we'll going to dig in. We're going to do much more deep dive into that. Now I'm going to also create some slicers, which is more like a filters, right? So I'm going to bring a slicer here, and I just want to bring country, right? So here is the country which I want to bring, and in the country I want to make this slicer as, so from here I'm going to change this slicer and put it as a drop down, right? So that now you can go and quickly do and can have a drop down where you can go and quickly do that, right? So I think there is a question, what is the difference in slicer and a filter? So slicer is typically meant when you are actually want to slice on your data, right? You want to go and slice your data. But filter could be at an whole report level or a page level, right? So here is the filter on this page. Let's say I only want to slice on certain countries or filter on certain countries, which I'm going to completely filter that data, right? So that is where you're going to add in the filter pane, right? So for example, let's say there are regions in the data set, right? There are a region where Asia is there, Europe is there, America is there. So I only want to have filter only for America. So I'm going to bring that filter, and then slicer will only show the filter countries which are only specific to America, right? So that is this. So now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to bring country, and based on country, I want to see booster dose, right? So let's see how many people have taken booster dose based on different countries, right? So since this data is uh, uh, data which consists of location, it has automatically detected and created a map for me, right? Which is good. So now you have your data which is in a form of different uh, in a form of a map. So you can see Asia, there are many of them who have taken the booster dose. In Asia, you can see in India also there is a big number here which the people have taken the booster dose. Now another card I want to bring here, right? Another card which will actually, I'm going to bring only the booster dose. So 2 billion, as in total, 2 billion people have taken the booster dose. Out of 5 billion are fully vaccinated, right? So fully vaccinated are the one who has actually taken the two dose, right? Who has completed the two dose. But the boosters are the ones who are only the 2 billion. So that is why you can see some difference. Now, let's say you want to see how the India is doing. You can quickly go and search for India here, right? And I'm going to filter India, let's say. So once I go and do an India here, you can see the numbers here. So there are total 951 million people who have been fully vaccinated, out of which 221 have been taken the booster dose, and you can see it in the map also as in India's, right? So that is what the basically you are doing it inside the slicer. Now there is also, I want to bring a quick one table where I want to see different vaccinations. Sorry, not this one. Okay, so I'm quickly bring this table visual where I want to see country, and I want to now also display the different people who have taken fully vaccine, who have taken booster dose, right? Person who has taken one plus dose. So now you can even see those data in a form of a table visualization, right? So this is another thing where you, if you want to present everything in a form of a rows and column or a table, you can do that. um, this is another way of presenting this data. Now, once this is done, I mean, there are more to do. I mean, you can have a smart narrative and all those things, which can also be done. However, we don't have much time to do that. So I'm quickly go and set the confidentiality or the sensitivity of this data. So I'm just keep it as public, and I'm going to just go and quickly deploy this data. Right. So once I go and say publish, so what actually I'm doing, I'm actually going and publishing this data into the Power BI portal, which is nothing but your powerbi.com. Right. So before we do that, we have to save this file. So I'm going to save this as vaccination save, and so I would request you guys, I mean, if you get time, just go and play with this. I mean, you can create a lot of more insight. I mean, this is a very basic insight which I have created, right? But however, you can create lot many insight with this data set, right? So I do have many of these. Let me deploy it somewhere. Okay, let me exploit it somewhere. So what it does, it's actually publishing this report into the Power BI portal, which is a web portal, so that I can go and share further this report to any other of my colleagues and they can go and consume this particular report. So this is deployed and I can just go quickly click on that and you can see this is where it is taking me to the actual Power BI portal where I'm going to access this particular report. So here it is. I mean, you can see that is now pretty much there on the in the web portal and it's a pretty interactive in a similar way. You can view your data set, where is your data set and everything, because everything get deployed along with the report. So this is your actual data set, which is created with this report. Um, what you can do, you can even go and can create some insight with this data, right? Which is nothing but the quick insight, right? So let me quickly show you that. So here your data set, right? So what you will do, I'm going to click on that data set and I'll say quick insight. So what it does, it on top of it, it will automatically go and create, some more insight out of my data, which is out of the box feature, which you get it. So you can see there are some insight which automatically it has created based on the data set, whatever I have deployed. Now you can, I mean, those are very interesting insight which you get it from this data, right? Refresh that. Yeah, so I think there was a question on sensitivity level. So there was a sensitivity level which got embedded. The sensitivity level, since I put it as web, so it was uh, sorry, the sensitivity level I've taken as public, so it has only incorporated the same sensitivity level as public in the data set. Get quick insight. So you can see these are the quick insight which are being generated by this data, right? Um, and some of them are, as you can see it, the based on the person vaccinated 1+ dose, how it is, which region has the people per 100 having more vaccination done, which vaccination name is something which is being taken or being used most. So you can see that here that this is the vaccination which is being mostly used or being taken by most of the people. Um, I mean, there are a lot of insight, I think, which you can go and read and can do that right from here. Um, so I would stop here since we are already overshooted 6 minutes of time and uh, take this session as as an icebreaker, or a session where, as an introduction of Power BI, um, let's follow the upcoming session where we're going to actually do much more deep dive and can going to understand much more on the specific functionality of Power BI, how we actually do a specific let's say if you want to learn only data modeling, right? Or if you want to learn only how you actually go and transform the data, how you actually go and write DAX queries, or how you actually do different collaboration techniques, or how you actually go and present your data when it's come from an Excel and all those things, right? So they're going to be much more coming up in the upcoming session. So stay tuned for that. Please keep following the Microsoft Reactor community. And yeah, so I think that's it for the day. And thank you everyone for joining and taking up the time for the session. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Gaurav.